Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining me here at the cottage. Today I will be sharing 19 awesome things about minimalism. A few videos back, I mentioned 5 things that I have seen an increase in since living a minimalist lifestyle, and this video is more or less a continuation of that same topic or theme with 19 more benefits, more awesome things that I have seen come to fruition in my own life. Now, I'm not trying to convince anyone to become a minimalist, but I do want to encourage those of you who are seeking it out. And it's likely that if you have clicked on this video, you're at least interested or curious in this lifestyle and want to learn more. And of course, minimalism is not the only way to achieve these benefits, to achieve these awesome things, but it is how they came to be in my life. So these are all based on personal experience. So keep that in mind as you're watching this video. The very first thing that I noticed that is awesome about minimalism is that there was a great reduction in my level of stress. I think that knowing things are under control is a huge factor in this one. The running of our home feels more manageable and we aren't overcommitted with various responsibilities. And really, when my husband and I are less stressed out, that trickles down to the kids, and so we've seen a huge change in them as well. That's not to say that the stress is completely melted away and that things are peaceful around here always, but overall there is less tension than there used to be. I've also noticed a positive environmental impact since living a more minimalist lifestyle. Generally speaking, we now produce less waste. We try to buy secondhand whenever possible, especially things that can get beat up really easily, such as kids' clothing. And because we are being more mindful of what we bring into our home, I've also been working on slowly changing out single-use items with things that are more sustainable and reusable, such as cloth napkins instead of paper ones. My cleaning products are also a lot less toxic than they used to be, and I try to make up my own DIY natural solutions whenever possible. With less time spent dealing with excess things in our home, we've been able to reallocate that time towards our passions and other creative projects that we're more interested in. My husband, for example, started taking some online guitar courses to learn a few chords for fun, and our oldest son has been building a roller coaster in our backyard. Yes, a legit ride-on roller coaster. He's thinking of going to college for mechanical engineering, which I think would be a perfect fit. But basically, without minimalism, I doubt that there would have been enough time or mental capacity to take on anything more than the basics of our home. And being able to spend that time on something creative and fun is awesome. The efficiencies that I've gained from living as a minimalist are awesome. Everything from simply being able to get out the door more quickly to fine-tuning meal plans, making the food prep for our large family streamlined. All of those little systems that have been put into place to help our home life run smoother have absolutely been worth it. There is so much less embarrassment now if someone stops by unexpectedly or with very little warning. Dare I say that at this point, there's really no embarrassment at all. It's awesome not having to rush around tidying things up or shuffling things to clear a spot for people to sit down. We now can just welcome our visitors in embarrassment-free, which was definitely not the case before minimalism. Minimalism saves money, at least that's been my experience. No longer do we make purchases of things that are not useful or necessary. And I'm amazed, looking back, how many things that we brought into our home without any good reason at all. There is a great deal of patience practiced in the journey of minimalism, which I think filters over into other aspects of life as well, such as being patient and saving up for big ticket items or items that might be of higher quality instead of buying cheap products that might potentially break easier and end up costing more in the long run. I've also noticed that the connections that I have are much more deep and meaningful. And really this applies to just about everything. Our family bond is stronger than ever, my faith has grown to be more sincere, and even my connection with nature is building. And I'll be honest, I was never an outdoorsy type of person, but now most days you'll find me outside in my garden, tending to the plants and just enjoying the quiet time. This next one may seem a little bit silly, but it's fresh on my mind since we just got back from a quick 4th of July trip. But minimalism and living more simply has definitely made it easier to travel lightly and to be able to put things away more efficiently and quicker when we return home. The 7 of us all fit into our minivan with enough clothing and toiletries for a 4-day trip, plus a bunch of extras that we brought along for the gathering. And when we returned home, everything was put back in place within about a half an hour. So I think that's pretty awesome. Decorating is easier and, dare I say, more fun. Most items coordinate or go together well, and I only need a couple of pieces to really make a statement in a room that isn't overwhelmed with a lot of other things. Even decorating for the holidays is enjoyable because we don't have an abundance of bins and miscellaneous to pull out and put up and ultimately to take down. So really we can just focus on the fun parts. Minimalism teaches discipline and care for belongings, which I think has been especially beneficial for our kids. Having daily habits and routines is important for them, as is knowing what to expect. That's just something that kids really do crave. And our kids will have grown up in an orderly environment and know what it takes to keep it that way. I really do wish that we would have discovered the minimalist lifestyle when our kids were even younger. And even though we don't push our minimalist beliefs on them, they have seen the benefits of this lifestyle just in living in a clean, simplified home. And that might be something that they decide to carry on with them into adulthood. Decisions I've found are a lot easier to make now that I've been living as a minimalist for quite a few years. Everything from making confident purchasing decisions to simply being able to say no without guilt if someone offers me something, either a physical item or an opportunity that I don't especially want. I don't have to spend a lot of time thinking it through, doing pros and cons. I can more quickly make the decision and feel confident with it. Cleaning is quicker, and honestly, if that were the only awesome thing about minimalism, that alone might be worth it. Some people say that a minimalist home is considered disaster-proof because even with a lot of items pulled out here and there, it can be put back in order so quickly. And because of that, I find that I'm able to do deep cleaning more often as well. It used to be that I would spend all of my time and energy moving things around, trying to organize and get things looking nice, that I never really got around to the deep, thorough cleaning, the disinfecting type of chores. And so I'm really happy that I'm able to do all of the cleaning as a whole, and our house is able to be maintained that way very easily. Minimalist living makes me feel like I have so much more time. Now, obviously, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, but it's fascinating how much more I'm able to accomplish in those hours now that I'm more efficient and I'm not burdened down by all of the extra care and maintenance of stuff. Another awesome thing that I've noticed about minimalism is the abundance mindset. It's funny how most people think of minimalism as being a total stripped down, bare-boned life, but it actually makes you realize how little is truly needed and recognizing that we do have enough, and that's an abundance mindset. The opposite of that, having a scarcity mindset, is a feeling of lack at all times. This type of thinking will drive extra unnecessary purchases and also the keeping and storing of excess. I know a lot of people think it's kind of weird that our large family doesn't buy in bulk and we don't have a big pantry stocked with items that we can conveniently grab. I just don't see a need for that. We have enough here, and when those consumable items run out, then we just go and purchase more, and it keeps it very simple that way. I've also experienced balanced emotions since living this minimalist lifestyle, and that partially goes back to the idea that things just don't seem as stressful anymore, but it's also likely a result of letting go of emotional baggage. I do far less worrying about playing the comparison game or thinking negative thoughts about myself now. I'd be lying if I said that they didn't creep in from time to time, but minimalism allows my brain the breathing room that it needs for me to be able to stop and then redirect my thoughts in a positive direction. More enjoyment of experiences is another awesome thing about minimalism. Even the simple ones, such as spending 15 minutes outside just listening to the birds sing, doing some deep breathing, or studying a piece of artwork. There are so many things that we as adults can just gloss over and not notice at all because our busy schedules are keeping us moving 100 miles a minute. Minimalism has allowed me to slow down and, as cliche as this sounds, remember to stop and smell the roses. Worries about the what ifs are all but gone. Zoe from Raising Simple wrote that clutter is a manifestation of unmade decisions. These come about when you feel like you don't have the perfect answer and you start to ask yourself all of the what ifs. What if I miss this item? Regret my decision. What if I could make money on it instead of just giving it away? What if my kids will want to use it someday? Those questions used to trap me before I understood about minimalism, and I'm so glad that they don't anymore. It's been my experience that living as a minimalist makes it easier to align my life with my priorities. If something doesn't fit with how I want my life to be, I can simply let it go. This applies, of course, to physical belongings, but also to relationships that are toxic or jobs that are unfulfilling. It's just so much easier now to be able to identify the things that are most important and clear the rest away. And finally, the most awesome thing that minimalism has brought to my life is an overall feeling of contentment and gratefulness for each and every day. I truly do feel so blessed. Life is never perfect, but it is beautiful, and I know that I'm only getting this one here on earth as we know it. So instead of complaining and focusing on the negative aspects, I really try hard to be positive and find that silver lining in all circumstances. And I recognize that these feelings may be a result of simply getting older and wiser and being more appreciative, but I do feel that minimalism was a catalyst that helped me get to this point of contentment maybe a little bit more quickly. Again, I'm not trying to convince anyone, but if you have minimalist living as a path that you are seeking out, then I can confidently say, based on my own experience, that you will have these 19 benefits at some point on your journey. Which on this list is most appealing to you? Which one do you wish to come to fruition in your own life? Or if you already are on a path of minimalism, which have you experienced? Or are there others that I didn't list today? I'd love to hear about that down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.